Welcome back to the SKOLCIAL Network. My name is Brevin Bain, otherwise known as Brevi Brightlights. Happy March Madness. Today, March Madness started. The VCU Rams are about to go kick some UNC Tar Heel ass here in a couple minutes. That's my Cinderella team this year. Totally not because I live 30 minutes away from VCU, but super excited about that. Also, real quick announcement for the SKOLCIAL Network. If you're like me and you're 26 years old and you watched all these gaming YouTubers when you were growing up and you wanted to buy a capture card, but they were all $400. Good news, in the last 15 years, technology has advanced. And a thing I've been wanting to do with the SKOLCIAL Network is do like a gaming thing. I'm talking like Vikings franchises, Madden, NHL, all that stuff. So luckily, these are like $20 now, and you can get them off Walmart. So gaming, sports gaming stuff coming to the SKOLCIAL Network. Shout out everybody in the chat. I see you, Too Evil. I see you, Matt. No, we can't share my baby pictures in the chat or on the stream. That will not be happening. I'll make a bet about it during the season, but that will not be happening tonight. As you guys can see, I do have the one, the only, the Brohioan, otherwise known as Josh, but the Brohioan is just such a tough name that I have to go by it. If you haven't heard of him, you're living under a rock, especially if you're on Vikings Twitter. This guy not only is probably the best, if not at the very least one of the best tweeters in the Vikings community. I think he's one of the best tweeters on the app, to be honest. Absolute Vikings Twitter Hall of Famer, the Brohioan. Sir, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Shout out what you want to shout out. The floor is yours.
Damn, dude. That was an introduction getting me all emotional over here and shit.
Yeah.
I came prepared because I knew you were about that live.
Fuck yeah. Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
dude. Nectar
Fuck
of the
yeah.
gods. I didn't forget. I have the shades on. I didn't know how bright the lights would be up in here, but I'm happy to be back. Like he said, follow me at the Brohioan on Twitter. I don't really have any other social media I post on or anything, so that's pretty much it. And don't get all mad and pissed off if you do follow me and I'm a little sarcastic and shit like that. Some people take shit way too seriously.
Yep.
I don't. This shit's supposed to be fun, so let's have some.
Yeah, I'm the same way, and I have to kind of I have my character on Twitter, obviously with Brevi Brightlights, but also like I'm a writer, so there's
Right.
times where I'm serious. So I
Yeah.
feel like I'm sending weird messages to people, but I also think it's kind of fun. I got my first ever SKOLCIAL Network hate earlier today, which was awesome, but I fucked that guy's mom earlier, so we're straight on that. As far as yeah, the Brohioan goes, for sure, you guys can see his handle on the screen. Go follow him. We're going to get into some Vikings topics today. We're going to keep it at about 40 more minutes here. Quick one for you. And shout out to all you guys in the chat that have been here all week. Very, very busy week. Had a very stacked week on the SKOLCIAL Network. So I appreciate you guys all for sure for coming out consistently and showing love and all the memberships and whatnot. But yeah, we'll get right to the Vikings talk. And I send out my topics, of course, to my guest a little bit ahead of the show. And one of my, I guess, late additions or late thoughts to it before I sent them out to Josh was the Adam Thielen and C.J. Ham retirements. And I'm going to throw the floor to you here first, Josh, in a second. But yeah, Thielen and Ham had their retirement speeches today. Very emotional. I'm not going to lie. I might have had a tear or two in my eye. Like I said, I'm only 26, so I grew up watching Adam Thielen. I grew up watching Harrison Smith. So this is a very big off season in terms of tugging at my heartstrings. Brevi, you were so hard to hear very well in the last two shows. Yeah, when I do this, I don't want to be up on my mic like I'm sucking somebody off. But my mic is just old, and I need to get a new one. So you guys donate for sure so I can buy one. But we were talking before the show, and we want to come to the defense of Adam Thielen because like everybody across the board loves C.J. Ham, but there's been a lot of Adam Thielen hate in recent months, especially because of what we gave up to reacquire him before the season, and also with him, I guess, kind of forcing his way out this season. What are your thoughts on that? Because, like I said, we're kind of aligned, but I want to hear from you first.
You know, it's just so weird because you see Adam Thielen go from this local kid who comes up, on the practice squad and, makes a name for himself, becomes a Pro Bowler, and the feelings of Vikings fans, man, they're kind of hateful to the dude right now on Twitter. I've not made any posts, any kind of comments about it at all. I've just kind of sat back and soaked it all in. And, at one time, it was like a consensus that Thielen was a fan favorite. C.J. Ham's always been that guy, you know what I mean? Also local kid. But both of them coming up the way they did and, being guys who produced for us and stayed around for a while, Thielen, it just ended bad, man. That last year he was with us, he just didn't quite look the same. Then he goes to Carolina and makes comments like, I think I can win a Super Bowl here. And it's just kind of backhanded and shit like that. So he kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. I wasn't on Twitter much before all that, so I don't know. I think people kind of had beef with him and his wife a little bit even before that shit, a little bit from what I've gathered. I'm not one. I thought it was a goofy comment when he went to Carolina and said that. But the dude, was nails for us, man. I got a lot of love for Adam Thielen. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I wasn't excited when we traded for him initially because from the reports of like training camp, Jalen Naylor was hurt or dropping everything. Ty Felton wasn't near ready. 3 was suspended and Jettas is hurt. So it's like, oh shit, this guy comes in, he knows the offense, he knows the players. It was like, hell yeah, and he had chemistry with JJ. And for him to come and just nothing, it was bad. And when he wasn't, he was like, he's usually Mr. Reliable with catching it, and he was dropping. And then to ask out, which I don't even necessarily blame him, which we kind of gave up, a 4th rounder for you basically. But at the end of the day, we were kind of out of it. So it's like, what the hell ever, but it just all of that combined has just rubbed people the wrong way. And it's kind of sad that this local product who's like the American dream, probably catching footballs, pretending to be Randy Moss in his backyard, is now almost like hated by fans a little bit, or just like rubbed the wrong way from him. It's a tough look. I feel for him. This should be celebrated. I'm going to leave it all behind and, just wish him the best, because the good memories outweigh the bullshit to me.
Yeah, for sure. Before I touch on it, because like I said, we're very aligned. Fig Nuts, YouTube is broken. That is for sure. No notifications. That's okay. Like I told you last night, you could be anywhere else on earth right now, but you're here with the fellas talking Vikings. Jay, we're going to get to the Wentz signing here in a couple minutes. Dominic, yes, I do mean Pittsburgh Steelers legend Adam Thielen. That is the same exact Adam Thielen we're talking about. So as far as Adam Thielen goes here, and I'll try to remain very consistent with talking to the mic so I don't sound like I'm in a different room. I guess my message to Vikings fans about the Adam Thielen thing would be a very blunt, get the fuck over it. Now, I am not talking about Adam Thielen's wife here. Adam Thielen's wife, like you kind of hinted to, that's a different situation. I publicly gunned and got over 1,000 likes on dunking on Caitlin Thielen, but that's because she took to social media and kind of backhandedly went at the Vikings. But yeah, with Adam Thielen, my thing is I compare it to Harrison Smith, not just because they're white, but because we all kind of agree that Harrison Smith, like C.J. Ham and Adam Thielen, are for sure Vikings. Harrison Smith of this century is like the Minnesota Viking. I mean, you can make arguments he's the Minnesota Viking of all time at this point, especially if he comes back this year, which he might, by the way. We look at this Harrison Smith situation. We're on retirement tour number 3, going on number 4 right now. And we're all kind of in agreement that, like, hey, dude, you don't have to come back here. You can go ring chase because, you're getting up there. We understand. You did your time here. Why is it not the same for Adam Thielen? He didn't make the decision to leave when we let go of him and he went to Carolina. We cut him. We cut him for good reason, because it was for a pay cut. But we severed that tie first. Adam Thielen didn't ask to come back to Minnesota. I'm sure he wanted to come back to Minnesota after we traded back for him from Carolina. But he didn't ask to come back. We went out and acquired him. And with Thielen like asking for a trade mid-season last year, that's where the Harrison Smith comparison comes up. So like, okay, like this dude is obviously like Thielen's what 34, 35, and he's a wide receiver. Like we're at the end here. So I don't blame the guy for wanting to go fight for a ring. It's kind of funny he got picked up by Pittsburgh. No offense, Dominic, but I can't be mad at the guy. I think a
Yeah.
lot of the animosity held toward Adam Thielen, and if you guys are watching like aren't on Vikings Twitter, this might sound crazy to you, but like there are people that legitimately dislike Adam Thielen now. We are not those people, obviously, coming to his defense, but I'm not gonna be mad at a guy for ring chasing when he was stuck on at the time he was traded, like well under 500 football team, and he didn't play well before that. He had obviously slowed down a good amount for sure, but I can't pretend I can't throw away all the Vikings history that was there, all the teams that he helped, all the huge plays that he made, all the things take football out of it, all the things he does in the community for Minnesota with the Thielen Foundation and everybody over there. I'm not going to throw that away, and I think a lot of Vikings fans are projecting their disdain for Caitlin Thielen, which warranted, kind of granted, are projecting that on to Adam Thielen, and I just don't agree with that personally.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Like I said, it's gotten a little goofy. I think people were like, he didn't produce for us last year. Then he's asking to go to a contender, and some are like, what the hell? You couldn't even do nothing for us. You think you're going to do something for a contender? It's just a lot of things snowballed to where we are now. And like I said, for me, like we cut him. He went to Carolina. He actually played better, like looked much better there than he had been for us, like the last year and everything. And then I thought we were getting a player who still might have a little juice, and he just did not when we got him. So I think it all just snowballed, like I said, and now people are just hateful towards him, and it sucks to see.
Yeah, and it's also something that like I never talked too much about online because like I know how this fan base works. I know how people work in sports in general. In a year they're gonna forget any of this happened and everybody's just gonna love Adam Thielen again. So
Yeah.
that's why I never really like publicly called anybody out on it because it's just not worth it. I don't like to just
Yeah.
do that. But yeah, I just don't agree with all the Thielen slander. What up, Skull Mafia? What up, Barber? Appreciate you guys coming out. Boom Boom Skull is the only guy I see hating.
Oh
Whoa,
shit.
shocker.
Yeah, Boom. Yeah, Boom definitely hates
Yeah,
Adam Thielen.
it's
He's the OG Adam Thielen
yeah. I
hater.
mean, if you were on that train to begin with, then more power to you. Like,
Yeah,
sure.
he's consistent. I'll give
Yeah,
I'll give Boom that. We don't always necessarily agree, but he's consistent. I fuck with Boom.
yeah. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
I don't dislike Boom Boom. That's not what the shocker meant. But like, I know Boom Boom's flag plants.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to all you guys in the chat. That's our Adam Thielen talk for today. Was there anything you want to say about CJ Ham? Love you, CJ. Thank you,
I
CJ.
mean, what else can you say, man? CJ, another Minnesota boy, coming up playing. I kept thinking when we first got KOC, I thought CJ Ham's days might be
Yeah,
numbered. Are we gonna even use a fullback anymore? And he just kept staying on the team, voted captain, man. What a dream for him to go out. Nothing but a legend for the Vikings. You know what I mean?
yeah.
He's like a Klein saucer kind of figure, you know what I mean?
Oh
Where
yeah,
it's like he was never the best player, but he played his role and he's a fan favorite. That's how I kind of feel about CJ Ham.
yeah. He was the definition of glue guy, not only in the
Yeah.
locker room, but also in the community because he does also a ton of like awesome charity work for Minnesota and some of the less fortunate up there, especially with the kids and everything. But yeah, that's CJ Ham, Adam Thielen retirement talk. Maybe one of these shows later in the off season will be Harrison Smith retirement talk, which I don't know if I'll be able to do that because I've said it a million times. Harrison Smith is my favorite Minnesota Viking of all time. I'm not. I've prepared myself for this for 3 years since I was 23, 24. I'm still not ready for it.
This man's an addict. He's coming back, bro.
I think he is.
I think so too. He would have. I don't know. He just can't help himself. He I don't know what happened at the beginning of last season. I don't know if it ever came out, but missing the beginning of last season, some of it, and getting, not as many reps, his body might feel kind of better right now, potentially, so that might be enticing to him. Flores is back, better quarterback, which we'll be talking about. Maybe a better quarterback. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I think he'll be back.
Yeah, and that segues us beautifully out of
Yeah.
the potential retiree of Harrison Smith and the retirements of C.J. Ham and Adam Thielen into the quarterback situation that the Vikings are in. Of course, there's the Kyler Murray signing, which most people seem to like. There's a very few amount of people that don't like the signing, and I don't understand why you wouldn't like it at 1.3 million, but people have their opinions, and that's what makes sports beautiful, because if we all thought the same thing, then none of us would talk about this and wouldn't have the show and we wouldn't have all these great conversations. So that's how I choose to look at it. But then today, something I also like kind of expected, so I don't know how much my opinion has changed just on the quarterback room all around. Minnesota re-upping on Carson Wentz, which like I think is just a good move. Like Carson Wentz, I can't believe I'm defending him in the year of our Lord and Savior 2026, but he was fine. Like he moved the ball
Yeah.
down the field, unlike a couple other quarterbacks I know in the Vikings. So
Yeah, he got Justin Jefferson the ball. You know what I mean? Like he didn't look like Carson Wentz. Just is one of those guys who he comes in and it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster. He might get you something. He might break your heart. You just don't know what you're going to get. But it's going to be consistently inconsistent pretty much with him. So it's just like, and he's got no aura.
No, zero aura.
So it's like, you just hard to get excited for Carson Wentz at all, but it's a smart move to bring in more competition, a guy who already knows the offense because he got brought in right before the season started last year. So a guy who's got more time in the offense and some guys competing. I don't know how anybody could be upset with what we got going on right now.
Yeah, that was kind of gonna be my question to you. And shout out Rap's in the building. Show some love to my guy in the chat, Rap. Yeah, that was going to be my question to you, is what's your overall feeling on this quarterback room, and if you had to order a depth chart right now, which right now doesn't matter, obviously we haven't even hit the draft yet, but just how you see it. I guess we're just going off vibes right now. What is that depth chart to you right now?
I'll start by saying I'm not out on JJ McCarthy. As long as he is on our team, he's 23 years old. He's been in the league 2 years. We have him for 5 if we want to. I'm not out on him. As long as he's on the team, that tells me that they see something in him that is worth keeping. So until he's off the team, I'll believe in that dude. My hope is, or JJ being the guy and having this astronomical rise this offseason would be in all of our best interests.
Yeah.
I don't really expect that. I expect him to get better, but he needs to get his mechanics down. He's got a lot going on. He's overthinking stuff. So Kyler, JJ, Carson is how I think and hope that it would be right now. I hope it is an actual competition because JJ, I was never the biggest JJ guy pre-draft. That I was one of those. I don't know. He hands the ball off a lot. He's got a lot of talent around him. But after we drafted him and some of the tools and everything, I bathed in the Kool-Aid. I mean, I didn't just, shower, and I took a whole bath in the Kool-Aid. I didn't just drink it. And it was, horrible most of the time. It was like he would have moments that made you feel good. And then it was like he would get hurt or look like ass and then get hurt, come back, look good. And it was just this roller coaster of bullshit, dude. So him getting a chance to just sit and learn. Someone's at my door. I'm not answering that shit. Him getting a chance to just sit and learn behind Kyler, because he didn't get that his rookie year. He was out of the building hurt. So he never got to sit behind Darnold and actually learn and get some reps on the bench. There are guys who come in the league, older than what JJ is right now. So to have him on the bench, get up to speed with his mechanics where he's not thinking so much, because he got kind of thrown into the fire after having his first major injury. And he went in and Soldier the first week and pulled that shit off. He went
Yeah.
into Ford Field where we had been struggling for years, like, and pulled that off. So he's seen things that I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? But he has no chemistry with our wide receiver one right now. He's thinking the mechanics, his accuracy's off. Kyler, I get it. Kyler has his limitations, you know what I mean? But he was a number one overall pick for a reason. You got a kid who went undefeated in high school in Texas, goes on to Oklahoma, wins the Heisman, gets drafted in the MLB 9th overall, drafted 1st overall in the NFL. People question this dude, how much he loves ball, and he chose it. You know what I mean? He has choices of what he could do, and he chose this. And I don't know if people know this, but the Cardinals have been a place where quarterbacks go to die my whole life, other than Kurt Warner, like old Kurt Warner one year, and Carson Palmer, old Carson Palmer, like a couple years maybe. So the fact that he went to the Cardinals, which is like historically piss poor ran organization, and looked, you know, went to a couple Pro Bowls, won an, you know, offensive rookie of the year. You know what I mean? Like, you get that guy for nothing. So now I have two guys, you know, top 10 picks. Well, 3, I guess, if you include Carson Wentz, but competing with something to prove. And I have basically, you know, they were given, Kyler was given to us. They're basically begging one of these dudes, like, take it. One of you is going to have a breakout year next year. We have all the pieces. Go and do it. And I expect it to be Kyler initially, but even if he does, Kyler's gotten hurt recently. Don't, you know, you're just a play away from coming in and being the guy and having a chance. And maybe that competition elevates him. And then if something happens to Kyler or he gets a chance, he looks good enough to where it's like, okay, him and Kyler both, the offense look the same. Kyler, go get paid, and we're going to build around JJ. I'm someone who believes you can kind of see what you have during this competition. It doesn't have to be in games. Like the way that he, you know, reacts to this competition and elevates himself, man, you're going to know what you have. And, you know, these guys competing, I wouldn't bet against one of them to have a really good year next year. You know, I was high on JJ. It was bad, but I'm not ready to give up on the kid quite yet, man. But Kyler has me excited, dude. And I've been a guy who's been higher on Kyler than most. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like a lot of people, he gets a lot of the Call of Duty hate and shit like that. Does he love this? And like he said, you know, or does he, you know, watch film and shit like that? And that's what his quote was basically, you know, I find it flattering that you guys believe that at my size, I can basically just go out there and play without studying or doing any of this stuff. I think that all that bullshit they tried to put in his contract was just Arizona being dipshits, because they've never had to actually sign a franchise quarterback, and they're just dumb. So they gave us a gift, dude. And you know, who knows what's going to happen, but this is basically, without getting Burrow or Herbert or something like that, this is the best case scenario, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially at the dollar value that you're getting Kyler at for 1.3. I mean, you're getting him for free, essentially. And I guess to get the Call of Duty point out of the way, you kind of touched on it. Like, obviously, like we don't think it's a big deal. The thing that I always kind of equate it to for Kyler and Call of Duty, like, I think we can all agree, like, NFL quarterback is an important job.
Yeah.
Being like a father of like a young child is a way more important job. Are you going to go yell at the father of the child for playing Call of Duty every here and then? Like, you're not going to do that. I don't care that this 20-something-year-old kid is going to go play Call of Duty in his off time. I mean,
right. Like, he's not like at the club doing all this wild shit. Like he, you know, goes out there and plays for a bullshit organization, looks pretty solid doing it. And when he's, you know, plays games, sometimes it could be a whole hell of a lot worse that he could be doing. I think some of it's unfair. I think it's become like a meme thing where it's just easy to dunk on him with that shit. I don't think it's quite the problem that it's been painted to be. He's got, like I said, he's got something to prove now, dude. And the weapons he has, growing up a Minnesota fan, now having something to prove and getting to play with the foundation that he has, dude, I'd be shocked if he doesn't have a top 15 to top 12 season next season with us. You know what I mean? Like, I expect Kyler to have a really good thing for us. And here's the thing. He can open up the run game, which has been maddening under KOC, dude. Like, I hate it. I'm old school a little bit, dude. Don't get me wrong. I love Randy Moss was my favorite player ever, but Adrian Peterson handing off the rock to guys like him, Dalvin, I miss that so damn bad, dude. Like, we got to get some kind of run game going. And like the numbers show that we ran it pretty efficiently last year. KOC, just the quarterback in him. You know, you have got a guy who hadn't been on the team very long and a guy who like is clearly not fully ready. And the lack of a run game was concerning to me because that's a young quarterback's best friend. You know what I mean? So the fact that we just neglected that was kind of like, okay, KOC, what the hell are you doing here? But the fact we brought in, is it Frank Smith from the Dolphins? Yeah, to bring him in, who's learned under Mike McDaniel, been coordinator of the year, you know what I mean? Like, drawing up run schemes. I really expect this is the year that KOC finally gets a run game. Like, finally, thank God.
I hope so. And the really frustrating thing, I see all you guys in the chat, by the way. Dominic, you wanted me to shout out something. Shout out North Dakota. Yeah, shout out North Dakota State. There you go, buddy. Sir D, welcome. Appreciate you being in here. Rap said you're spitting facts, Josh. I got to agree.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, where I'm at on it, I mean, everybody in here probably kind of knows, like, I'm big on the Kyler signing, not just for the value, but like for the upside really is there too. With the really frustrating thing about the Vikings run game, it's not that they couldn't run the ball last year,
right?
It's that they just didn't, and that is obviously. Kevin O'Connell, I think we all have some issues with his situational play calling for sure. 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s, like, dude, just run the ball.
Right.
But the Vikings had the 12th highest success rate when running the ball in the NFL last year, but they just couldn't. And a lot of that is on Kevin O'Connell and his situational play calling. But some of that is also because the quarterbacks that you had playing in the games, mostly talking about McCarthy and Brosmer, they couldn't stay on script. So, like, there was a point where you just can't run the ball. And that has a lot to do with it. So I am really intrigued. I'm a little less intrigued now that we decided to bring back Aaron Jones and not go for some upside in the draft. But
I'm kind of there, too. I'm curious to see how that goes because down the stretch, he looked pretty decent for us. Like, but, you know, other than the quarterback situation, the running game was probably the biggest. The running game and offensive line were the biggest disappointments for me last year because we draft Donovan Jackson, we get Ryan Kelly, we get Will Fries, we trade for Jordan Mason. It's like everything's lining up for us to and have a young rookie quarterback, or basically a rookie quarterback. Yeah. You know, it's screaming, here we go, we're gonna pound the rock finally, and it just didn't happen. So to be running it back with the exact same guys doesn't give me much excitement. You know what I mean? I'm praying because this isn't like a stacked running back draft, but there's guys who can play. There's guys who can fill roles, and we definitely got to take one because it's just been far too long since we've had some stud running back, and we typically have done well there. You know, like Adrian Peterson and Dalvin, dude, and then, you know, Robert Smith when I was a kid. Like, we typically have decent running backs, and and we do now. We just got to use them, really. I expect the offensive line to take a leap this year, even with the question at center. I think, you know, Donovan Jackson's second year. Fries underachieved. Like, he was mid. He wasn't bad. He was mid, but he was consistently out there after a big injury, a major injury, so you know what I mean. So to see him stay healthy and be out there, I expect him to have a better year, and after being in the system for a year plus coming back from the injury. Darisaw, you got to expect him to be better again. You know, I'm starting to get a little concerned, but when he's out there, he's most of the time, you know, he changes the offense. So I expect the offensive line to be better. But really, we need a home run hitter, man. We really need a home run hitter in the backfield, and I hope that's a priority for them.
Yeah, my hopes are definitely high for the offense because I mean, you're only going to be able to rely on Brian Flores solely basically winning you games for so long cuz we're talking about a team and I mean, I'll go to the grave on this and I can't believe it's an argument when I say this sometimes just amongst my circles, but it's not the only reason that they didn't make the playoffs last year, but the main reason the Vikings didn't win 11 games last year was the quarterback play. And like that sounds obvious, but I do get some pushback on that with McCarthy, and it's hard to project 1 year to the next year. That's why I never like strength of schedule, like looking at the schedule and
Right.
your opponents now, like that shit does not matter.
Right.
The NFL is so volatile. With with the fact that it's hard to project year to year, just thinking about you really couldn't have had much worse quarterback play all in all than you had last year. Like it was god awful. It was very hard to watch. Just thinking about Kyler Murray, and even if you don't want to think about the ceiling, think about the floor because the floor is much higher than what we had at quarterback last year. So I'm in the
Hmm.
same camp. I think, and I'm not one to quantify how many playoff wins Kevin O'Connell needs to save his job. I think Kevin O'Connell, even if he doesn't win a playoff game this year, if there's a clear path going forward where, okay, Kyler's quarterback of the future, okay, J.J. McCarthy figured out how to throw at the middle of the field, cool. Well, it's really weird that you can't throw in the middle of the field in the NFL, JJ, because you were really good at that at Michigan, but you just forgot how to do that in the NFL. But hey, you figured it out now. Maybe now
Yeah.
you're the quarterback of the future. If there's that for Kevin O'Connell, if there's a clear trajectory upward and a clear path forward at quarterback, that's what I truly think saves Kevin O'Connell's job. Not necessarily,
I
he has to win 2 playoff games.
I think KOC has a longer leash than Vikings fans realize. I
Yeah,
personally do. I don't think I'm with you. I don't think he is in the win a playoff game this year or you're out. I mean, I think that should be the expectation kind of to put pressure on him, but I think that they're going to basically say, "Hey, you made chicken salad with chicken shit out of Questie's drafts, and Questie's the scapegoat." Which it's not all on Questie.
yeah,
Like, I don't get me wrong, like his drafts were ass, and he probably deserved to be fired. But like KOC definitely deserves blame, and if it weren't for Brian Flores, he'd probably be getting a lot more heat. But you know, the fact we finished not strong last year with as bad a quarterback play, I think they're going to use Kwesi as the scapegoat, and I kind of think KOC has a longer leash than we think. But again, we finished the season on a 5-game win streak, top 3 defense in the league. You know what I mean? And Brian Flores coming back, we said if we even had mid quarterback play,
yep.
we could have made some noise. Because I mean, that's all. The Seahawks are on another level right now, but I know Darnold's getting put on this pedestal, and I love the dude. I'm glad he won it all, but like he led the league in turnovers. Like he did what he was asked to do. He did, you know what I mean? He didn't do anything crazy. Like, so we can get that out of Kyler. We can get that level of play out of him with the weapons we have. And if KOC can bring that out of him, because KOC does seem like he's better at bringing in veterans who already don't need to work on their mechanics, just need a scheme to get guys open and everything. So I expect Kyler to have, if he stays healthy, I expect Kyler to definitely have his best season next season.
Yeah, I agree. And with I was in the Kevin O'Connell like, okay, dude, you got to do some shit this year. Like right after Quasey got fired, that's when I was more in line with the okay, this guy's got to make a run in the playoffs to save his job. But as we've gotten further and further away from that, and I don't know if you saw the report earlier today from Florio, but it kind of solidifies what you just said of Kevin
Oh
having the
yeah,
longer leash. Like Florio, believe him or don't, I mean, the dude is
right.
connected. I know a lot of people don't like him, but he is connected, and I do think he's somewhat reliable. He has crazy takes, but I think he's reliable in a lot of things. Not to go out on a branch and defend him, but
Right. We
he,
we gave KOC more control. You know
yeah,
what I mean? A coach who's supposedly on the hot seat, we gave him more control. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't think he's getting fired next year
no,
unless it's an absolute disaster.
yeah. And if you guys didn't see, Shout out Bob. Thanks for joining. Appreciate seeing you in here. If you guys didn't see what Florio reported earlier today, it's basically that Kevin O'Connell got overruled by Kwesi on rolling forward with J.J. McCarthy. And, like, O'Connell wanted any of Darnold, Jones, or Rodgers. And apparently they really, 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 really wanted Danny Jones, and they saw something in him. So for better or for worse, but apparently Kevin O'Connell was overruled, and that kind of points to what we were just talking about, having that
And
longer leash.
yeah. And if that's the case, man, because like my thought process last season when we weren't signing any of those guys and JJ was like the queer guy and there was no one else in the room was Kevin O'Connell told us all, you can all sleep well knowing you have your quarterback of the future. And they weren't signing any of those guys.
Yep.
So it was like, oh, they really believe in this dude. So I really believe in this dude. But if Kwesi, who like, you have a coach who people are calling the QB whisperer and you're not listening to him about the QB situation. If that is true, he deserved to be fired, like point blank, especially with how the season, like, because it couldn't have went worse. Let's be honest. Like we still have no answers really on what JJ is necessarily. Like it's still, polarizing situation for sure. And then Darnold to go on and win like he did, Daniel Jones to go ball while he was healthy, man. It just was such a bad look for us. And if all that was true, man, then he really deserved it. And I didn't think, because my line of thinking was every quarterback move is a Kevin O'Connell move. That was my line of thinking. And that feels like that's probably should have been the case. But especially like if Rodgers was wanting to come for like 10 million last year, or Darnold's price tag dropped. Like, I don't know, man. I felt like Kwesi was kind of a scapegoat in some ways, but if that is true, then he deserved everything.
Yeah, and it's just such a Viking situation. It feels like no other team in the league would be in this situation, but we're the Vikings, so we got to be in it. Barber, shout out. Tell everybody smash that like button. Definitely do that if you want my kids to eat this month. I don't have any kids, but it sounded good. This is what I'm talking about with doing these shows, because like we have these topics lined up, and I'm like, okay, that might get us through 20 minutes. We're 40 minutes in, so we're coming up on time here. So we'll move.
We can go.
Okay.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, I was gonna move us back, move us into the draft if you wanted to get on that. I guess if you just wanted to share your like overall what you're hoping for out of this draft for the Vikings, like whatever strategies you want them to use and all special stuff like that.
I am a best player available kind of guy a lot of the time. So I hope that
I think we lost Josh there. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. I can't believe we've lost Josh. This is unreal.
What happened? Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you now. I think you dropped out there for a second, but you're good.
Okay, because I could only see me for a second, and then like couldn't see you, so I thought we lost you.
Oh no, it's all good. Yeah, you disappeared off mine, so I was like, I guess we lost him.
No, I'm a best player available kind of guy. I've wanted Caleb Downs. I really like those top 3 safeties, man.
Yeah.
And I know positional value type deal, but it's a need. And I think like Emmanuel McNeil-Warren plus Dylan Tinneman, I would be very happy with either one of them. I think they fit great. I think they're both dogs. They are definitely consolation prizes if you miss out on Caleb Downs. So because I'm a trenches guy, build from inside out, but like to me, there's no D line at 18 that I'm like, I think you're reaching on someone at that spot a little bit. Like trade back if you're really set on that, maybe, possibly, but there's no, because like Caleb Banks, I'm a Florida fan, big guy, a lot of potential. He's got foot problems already. He had them at Florida. Mm-hmm. He's had one great year. You know what I mean? Like the potential's there, but big boys with foot problems. I don't know. I'm not taking them that high, dude. So Caden McDonald, true nose tackle, like great against the run. Like I'm not taking that at 18. You can get that in the second round, third round, like Dante Corleone. Deontay Corleone out of Cincinnati. I've loved him. You know, he's going to drop because of some medical shit, but he's a little tank, dude, and he's a true nose tackle. I'd love to see him. So yeah, with the first, unless someone falls in our lap, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of expect one of those safeties. I just, that seems what keep getting mocked to us the most. And I think Brian Flores has kind of proved to us that he just doesn't like fully value corners maybe quite as much as we do. Like he's fine with getting like the Pierre free agent and plugging him in with size and getting to you with pass rush and disguises and shit like that with the safeties and stuff like that. So I don't think he necessarily values corners quite as much as we do. So I expect him to get one, but I don't expect it at 18. My money would be on one of those two safeties, and I would be pretty happy with that because I really like both. I can't even decide necessarily which one I like more. I like them both a lot.
Yeah, and this is why I love you, because not only are you like one of the funniest dudes on Twitter, like I said earlier, if you guys haven't followed him on Twitter, follow that handle on your screen right there, because just Hall of Fame tweets one after another, banger after banger after banger. But you know ball too, at least in my through my shades here, because I
Right.
agree with everything you said, and you're bang on. That's something I've been saying throughout the entire time of Brian Flores being here is like, okay, the Vikings have very much proven that they don't view the cornerback as a premium position, because in the
Nope.
Brian Flores defense, you don't really have to.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I don't want, like, I kind of want them. I've been pushing the agenda of draft secondary with your first two picks, just
Yeah.
because just from like the personnel standpoint, like Brian Flores cannot value these positions all he wants with, and this also tied into this is I'm not that huge on Caleb Banks either. I prefer
Yeah.
trade back anyway,
Yeah.
but I would prefer trade back and draft Caden McDonald, and that's not
Yeah.
because one of my nieces' name is Caden. But with yeah, I've been wanting them to go secondary in the first two picks, because when you look at the secondary, I mean, maybe you disagree, but I was saying it last year, and I still am pretty firm in like Fabian Moreau was our best cornerback last year.
He didn't look bad.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. Flores is the guy. It's like, okay, you know, I can make chicken salad with chicken shit sometimes because Fabian Moreau was out there a lot, and I didn't
yeah,
even notice it most of the time. Like he held his own. So, you know, I trust Flores, whoever he puts out there. I've watched him at times make Caleb Evans look serviceable at times.
yeah.
So like your boy from Pittsburgh who they got in the
James
free
Pierre, yep.
agency, Pierre, my brothers are Bengals fans. They hate the Steelers. It's very hard for them to admit anything nice about the Steelers, and they told me that dude's a menace, that he
Yep.
really gave T and Jamar fits, and that's all I needed to know. And Flores clearly sees that too. Got his DB coach over, so I wouldn't be shocked if he plays a little bit bigger a role because we got Isaiah Rodgers with, you know, the speed, and then, you know, Murph and the nickel, and then now we got some size. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We still will draft corner, I think, at some point. You know, I like Keontae Scott in the second round. I think he's a dog. Abney.
Yeah.
And there's a few good guys. But like you said, Caden McDonald, like our run game struggled last year. If we just need some of those big boys to eat up space, that's why, like, you know, Dante Corleone, like that's why I like him. Is like he's small, he's compact, but he's a space eater, dude, and he brings it every play. So like him in the third, you know, fourth, I think that's a steal for how good he actually is. You know,
Yeah.
and I like this tight end draft. You know, Kenyon Sadiq, let's say they do draft that guy, I'm going to gas it up because I'm like the potential.
Yeah.
But it feels like every one of these tight ends that are these freak athletes, can't miss or whatever, you know, guys always end up getting outplayed by some second or third round tight end.
Yep.
Like even Vernon Davis back in the day, who I guess they kind of compared Sadiq to. He's not quite that level, but it took him a minute to get, you know, where he was making a name for himself in the league. And even then he was like never like an Antonio Gates or anything. Like he was good, but he wasn't like top 5 draft
Right.
pick or whatever good. You know what I mean? So it's like, I would be cool if they liked him to spread the field and get some size, but I like some of the tight ends a little later too. So I hope that's something they snag. I really, really have been liking Jonah Coleman out of Washington lately. He's got that kind of Maurice Jones-Drew compact size. He can catch out of the backfield. He's not afraid to step up and pass block. He's not necessarily that home run hitter that I want, but I don't know. In this draft, out of the home run hitters, who would they even be? Like at running back, like I feel like it's
Mike
yeah,
Washington, Seth McGowan, maybe.
yeah,
There's not a ton of like super speedy guys.
right. So it's like I'd rather just get the guy who just beats defenses up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Hard to tackle, brings it, gets them tired, and then you're having to try to run after Kyler and
yeah,
Jettas and shit like that. Like that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Running back, like we said, the D line, corner. I expect them to get all those. We got draft picks, man. I wouldn't be shocked to see us trade back a little bit at some point and accumulate more. That's the story of the offseason. It has been find competition for the quarterback room, check, and nail the draft, and that's loading. Like that is the two things. It's clear that free agency, they've been like, hey, we're getting out of cap hell. We got players we think can compete this year. We got to nail this draft, and that's just the truth, and that's where we're at. And as a franchise, and they seem to. I mean, they're letting a guy who's been with us since 1999, who's not
yeah.
been necessarily in this role. Him and KOC and I guess Flores. I don't know if it's some kind of mutual draft board they got going on. Like, I don't know what's going on, man, but I have to trust these dudes with my life. And right now I do. I'm pretty excited for this draft.
Yeah, we got no choice but to trust this regime at this point. We're
Exactly.
kind of in stand back and watch mode. Yeah, quick shout out to James Pierre.
Yeah.
I DM'd him like, hey, dude, you want to come on the show? I kind of called it. But shout out to James Pierre for letting people know that I was back on Twitter because it took people a while to realize. So appreciate all the love I got for that. And then definitely from you too, Josh. I think I gained like 1,400 followers
Yeah,
off that
dude, you
shit.
got like doubled your followers or
That shit
some
was
shit
crazy.
like that. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit,
I
that's
was like,
awesome, man.
I
But it
mean,
deserved.
yeah, I appreciate it. I was like, I didn't think it was that crazy. It just it checked all the boxes for a signing. I was like, oh, I'll throw this out here. This makes
Well,
sense.
you're thorough with your analysis. You're fair. You know what I mean. You do your homework, and it's obvious. So people like that. There's a lot of bullshit on Twitter. You know what I mean, like
Yeah.
rage baiting, trolling, idiots like that who would do something like that. You know what I mean.
Sure.
But you're pretty thorough with your analysis and fair. Like even if someone doesn't agree with it, like I think they could respect it. You know what I mean. So
Yeah.
like guys like that, especially Vikings content creators, you needed more love. You had more love, and then
Yeah.
you were gone, and now you're back. So just tried to help out a little bit.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that very much. It's very kind of you. I work very hard, so it's nice to get love for it and get recognition. Yeah. As far as the draft goes, the Vikings kind of have to nail it, because they haven't had any good drafts since 2021 and as a whole 2020. So we're talking about COVID times. Um, Brev comeback creator of the year. Appreciate that. Drop the medal. Send in the permits. Brev still here listening. About to be driving. You're all good, Barbara. I appreciate you staying tuned in. We are winding down here though, but I do appreciate you. Yeah. As far as the draft goes, I agree. Like I said, just about everything you said.
Yeah.
If because I've said I want them to go secondary the first two picks, whether that's and you touched on the safeties too, between because we're probably not gonna have a shot at Downs obviously, but
Yeah.
between Thieneman and EMW Emmanuel McNeil Warren, a lot of people love Dylan Thieneman, especially after the combine. Like his draft stock shot up. I do my best to not give the combine too much. I mean, it helps for sure. It gives you an idea, but I have been since before the combine an EMW guy. I just think he's a better football player. The Eneman
Dude, he's
might
a
be a
dog.
yeah, the Eneman might be a better athlete, but I think EMW is just a better football player, and could fit more into what Brian Flores wants to do at safety.
Yeah, Tinneman's that great white hope replacement for
Yeah.
Harrison Smith, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh, this rangy, athletic white dude is gonna take over for our star we've had for so long, and maybe. But I am telling you, EMW, if it's not Tinneman, then EMW is a great consolation prize. Like it's kind of the same deal with Quinyon Mitchell, who was just out of Toledo.
Yeah.
Like he was a dog. It wasn't like this kid just, was athletic out there and, just out there running around knocking heads off. No, he's consistent over 3 years. Like he's a dog. And I don't care if it was in the MAC. And he's got size, dude. He's a big boy. And we need tone setters on the defense, dude. I don't want not like we need like some nasty hitters, some guys who, and stuff like that. I don't want to be nice over there. Like I want dogs, and he's one of them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's not to say I'm an EMW guy. That's not to say I'd be mad if we drafted Thielen. Obviously, I'd talk myself into it pretty quick. I'd be happy with it. But yeah, even if it's that, the only guy that I'd kind of be like, in terms of the secondary, that it'd be like really kind of like, I mean, I'll talk myself into it eventually. But like in that first and second round realm, like I'm not a huge Avion Terrell guy.
I do like Avion, but I understand. I do understand why guys wouldn't want to take him that high. You know what I mean? Because of the size limitations. I think he's a dog, scrappy dog, and I like guys like that. But again, when you're picking first round, sometimes, you want guys with a little more size or whatever. So I understand. I do like Avion. I'd be fine with him whenever, but it'd be nice if he fell a little bit and we snagged.
Yeah, there's definitely potential there with Avion, and like if he were to be the good Avion Terrell, like he could be a good man corner. In a Brian Flores scheme that deploys a lot of like cover zero and man coverage and all that. He just reminds me too much of Cam Dantzler. In terms of the frame, the inconsistency, the tackling ability, which Cam Dantzler low-key was like a good tackler behind the line. But like seeing the similarities there, I'm just like, I don't know. I think I have Terrell. I haven't made a big board or anything. I'm not smart enough to do all that. I don't have that much clout, but I think I'd have Avion as like my cornerback 6. Like I have him behind Cisse. I like Abney more, to be honest. I might like D'Angelo Pons more, but that's just me. Maybe I'm just trying to be different.
I like Pons too. I'm curious to see how high Pons goes because he's another one who's not some big freak athlete, but he's just a ball player, dude. Like he's just, you can always use those. So I'm curious to see how high Pons actually goes. And I would not be mad with him. Like I said, Keontae Scott out of Miami, he's a little older, but so is, Kyrie when we took him. He's aggressive. He's one of those dog menaces, in the defensive backfield. And like, I just want those kind of guys, you know what I mean? Watching Seattle, like our defense is good, but watching Seattle, they were just like nasty and drilling people and just it looked mean out there, dude. I want that. I'm tired of this Minnesota nice bullshit. We need some dogs. I'm thinking that we get some this draft.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Dominic says Avion is a dog. We need to do a film study together. Hey, Dominic, why don't you study a job application, pal? How does that sound? Brev, your audio is kind of low. I know, dude. All right, you guys are bullying me into buying a new microphone. I know it sounds low. I got to mess with the settings or something, but I don't know. I'll buy a new microphone. You guys donate to the cause if you want to, if you want the quality to get better of the entire show. But yeah, this has been fun. I'm going to respect your time here because you gave me the time you were available for, so I don't want to go too much over that.
You're good, man.
I definitely appreciate you coming on. This was good fun. I'd love to have you on any other time you'd want. Maybe we'll get you on here like a little bit after the draft or something.
Yeah, whenever, man.
I got to figure out my schedule because I'm headed up to the draft.
I went last year. I thought about going this year. Pittsburgh's not super far from me. You're in Virginia?
Yeah, I'm like 5 hours from Pittsburgh.
Okay, I think it might be closer to me, or maybe it's about 5 or something like that.
Oh, yeah, because you're Ohio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really
yeah.
Question. No, I'm like 5 hours and change. But Dominic in the chat, he lives in Frederick. He's from Pittsburgh. I'm gonna meet him in Frederick, Maryland, and then we're gonna head up to the draft and be there for like half a week or something crazy.
It was a cool experience for me. I mean, it was in Lambeau, and my record up until that point, seeing games live, was 0-4. So to get to go and see Lambeau without, risking seeing my team lose there was kind of nice. You know what I mean? We were like inside Lambeau Field, like maybe like second row, and like the red carpet was right in front of me, and Kay Adams was right next to me and stuff. It was
Oh, lucky
like
you.
right, yeah. I snuck a
Yeah,
quick pick real quick, but I got to watch like the Donovan Jackson pick from inside Lambeau, so
that's sick.
it was a cool experience. I don't know how it'll be compared to that, but you'll have a lot of fun. It's awesome, dude.
No, for sure. Yeah, Dominic told me he's got like Dominic. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you can, before we end the show. But he's got like a family friends or something have like a suite or a box or something, and at Heinz Field, I'm not calling it Acrisure Stadium. That they do draft parties out. So we'll be in there. We'll be between that and like down at the stage and everything, running around trying to get some content for the show. But yeah, I can't wait for that. But man, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you giving me your time. Go ahead if there's anything else you want to get off your chest, anything else you want to shout out. Now's your time. Tell the people.
Deep breaths, everyone. This quarterback process,
Yeah.
it's didn't go quite as planned, but deep breaths. A fun season's coming. I think we're gonna have a good draft. Just take a deep breath, let it all play out before getting too emotional at everything. Like they clearly trust KOC to make these picks and the direction of the team. Have a little more patience. I know that's hard to ask Vikings fans, but have a little patience and have some damn fun, man. Vikings fans can be miserable motherfuckers
Yeah.
sometimes. Just have some fun, man. This shit's supposed to be fun. So love you all. Skol.
Yeah, it's a miserable existence, but it's one we all chose. Well, I guess for
Yep.
the most part, we chose it. Some of us are born into it. But yeah, I would say to everybody, enjoy the news now and the moving parts right now, even though it's not football season, because as we know, after the draft happens, it's an absolute trudge. Is that the word? Trudge. It's an absolute gauntlet and just hell from after the draft until like July when training camp starts. So enjoy the moving parts now, enjoy the drama now, because we're gonna be right back in the situation next year talking about how the Vikings fucked it again. And you can come on to the show and get in the chat and vent about it, and we'll do this for God knows how much longer until a ring comes to the Twin Cities. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody coming out. I don't have any shows scheduled right now because this week was fucking crazy, but I do have some guests lined up that I gotta figure out some times with. Barber, appreciate you. Great show. Thank you, Matt. Matt's my brother. Fuck you, Matt. Also at the same time, Dominic, Fignuts, Jay, Too Evil, everybody. I appreciate you guys coming out. See you in the next one. See you in rap shows. Skol.